Pennywise is back, dancing up one of the biggest horror movie openings of all time. This week, we break it all down. Plus, we preview the Halloween 1 and 2 double feature at the Lost River Drive-In with the event's producer, Anthony Masi, a prolific producer of horror documentaries and events, and one of the biggest horror buffs we have met. That and upcoming horror conventions and film festivals this week on The Scare Guys Show.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movie.
Welcome back to the Scare Guys Show. We are so glad you guys have joined us. We've been gone for a couple of weeks, but there's a whole lot going on. We are entering into the Scare Guys season, the Halloween season. My name is Jim. I'm your managing editor. You can find me at Jim Frye LA. Who else we got here?
Hi, my name is Derek. I am a contributor to theconguy.com who also shows up on the Scare Guys Show sometimes. And you can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
And we have a very special guest this week.
That's me, Anthony Masi, producer, event planner, horror buff, nerd, all the above.
And we're going to find out so much about you.
Right.
Do you have a social media tag that you would like to?
Masi Media, Lost River Drive-In, and Screamoween. Just find them all. Just look for.
All right.
And I'm Jake Thomas, filmmaker and writer. You can find me at Instagram and Twitter at JTHummus.
And on the couch.
And I'm Cheeseman on the couch here with thescareguy.com, and we all float.
Oh.
We all float here.
You float too. Katie is usually with us each week, but Katie right now is at a special advance, not a screening, an event.
Screaming.
She's at a screaming
event.
There probably is a lot of screaming there.
She is at the Hollywood's, Universal Hollywood's it's the Halloween Horror Nights. My favorite
Horror Nights and Hollywood, and you can be following her right now on Instagram on our the Scare Guy Instagram.
That's true.
She's posting on the stories.
If you be following her as you're watching the show. Don't turn off the show, because we'd like you to follow us, comment, like us, comment, subscribe to the channel here, because we love having you guys pay attention. And that sounds like I'm a school teacher. Pay attention. We just like having you involved. By the way, we also have our extraordinary producer in the booth, Mr. Ryan Nielsen. Ryan.
Check. Hello. Yes, Ryan in the booth. Really excited to talk about It Chapter 2 and Halloween.
Yes.
We all went to the It screening the other night.
Yes,
Saturday
it was a very late screening. I'm surprised we all stayed up so late.
I sat between Jim and Ryan, and that was an adventure.
It was.
Yes.
Derek looked at me. He's
really
like, I'm happy.
scared.
I'm happy I'm sitting next to Jim in this showing. I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. It was a late one. It was 11:15. We went late at night, but we went to the IMAX. And
That was cool.
We have a lot to say about that. But first up, I want to introduce our very special guest we have in the booth tonight. This is Mr. Anthony Masi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
All right, now Anthony has a long resume of documentaries you've been doing for some of our favorite our favorite horror films. Like, for example, Halloween, 25 Years of Terror. His name is Jason. 30 Years of Friday the 13th. Unknown Dimension: The Story of Paranormal Activity. The 50 Best Horror Movies You've Never Seen. I haven't seen that documentary. I really want to see that one. Psycho Legacy and Still Screaming from Scream. Plus, I'm sure so many more and a lot coming up. How did you get into this?
I know, it's crazy. Well, long story short is we'll talk about the events later. You want to talk about my events?
He also is producing a couple of events that we're going to be talking about at the second half of the show. So if you don't know, we are talking tonight first and foremost about your documentaries. Then we're going to talk about It Chapter 2. That's the big movie that came out this week, and we're going to talk about, and then we're going to close out with this really cool drive-in event that you're wearing the t-shirt about right now.
Yes. Yeah, well, I produced a live event for the Halloween movies, and we videotaped it, and we did interviews, and we took that footage and cut the very first tell-all documentary about Halloween. And it was because of that live event, and if we hadn't taped it, it wouldn't have happened, but it opened the door for my producer career. And I started working for Mustafa Akkad, who is the executive producer of the Halloween films, and I worked there for 6 years. And
that's so impressive. That's so impressive. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm like the biggest Halloween fan in the world. And when they called me to say, "Hey, do you want to run our website and everything?" I about dropped dead, because I was like, why? I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, I was running a fan site, and that had a lot of viewers and stuff like that. But I had just invited Mustafa to the event, and they said yes. And then the other webmasters were leaving, like just leaving the site after a couple of years. And then they said, hey, why don't you just hire Anthony? And I was living in San Diego, and then I drove up there and went to their office in Century City. And I mean, it was like meeting the president. Like that's how I felt when I was meeting them. And I opened the door and I saw the secretary, Christy, sitting there. And I looked over and I saw Mustafa sitting at his desk. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, if you're a horror fan, I was like, I can't believe I'm here. And they hired me on the spot.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So was the series in its? Where were you at the time? Which number were we?
They had finished H2O.
Okay. Oh,
so
fantastic.
they were just about to, and I covered the Halloween 8 premiere. Which was not very eventful. It was not a great premiere, but I mean, I bought like clothes for it. Like, it was a big deal.
And you said,
that's when it was.
In your 25th anniversary, it was at an event that you put together, right?
Yes.
Which I'm wearing a shirt.
You're wearing the 40th.
The 40th.
Just count back every 5 years till you get to 25, and that's the one that I did.
Because you started the event that eventually became the big Halloween. I keep hitting my microphone. The big Halloween events.
It was called Halloween Returns to Haddonfield.
Yeah. Still out there in South Pasadena.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah. We are going to be
question we seem to always ask our guests, especially that are big fans of horror. When did this all begin for you? When did you become such a big fan that it just became part of your life?
When did I become like a professional fan?
Well, first of all, what triggered it that just made you a lifelong fan?
Have you ever seen the movie Sideways? Not to bring it in. There's a bunch of wine lovers in there.
The wine movie.
In the wine movie, and there's a scene when one asks another, "Which bottle started it for you?"
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's what you're asking.
Yes,
I understand. Which
slasher started it for you?
Yeah. It was Halloween, and it was. Yes. I was 11, I think, when I saw it for the first time.
Great parents, love it.
It changed my life, and I'm a twin brother. I have a twin brother, and so I think he just lost interest and left the room, and I was like by myself watching this movie. And I thought I was crazy the next day because I went to school. I was like 11. I went to school, and all I was doing was going up to the other kids and going, "Did you see the guy kill all those teenagers last night?" And nobody knew what I was talking about. And there's the scene with Annie where he like kills her in the car. I remember I was obsessed with that, and I go, he kept choking her and she wouldn't die, and he kept choking her and then she wouldn't die, so he cut her neck. And like I remember the teacher going like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" And I thought I was crazy until I got to even in college, I didn't meet any horror fans, and I thought there was something wrong with me. And then the internet came around, and I realized there were like thousands or millions of us. But I thought
there was something wrong with all of us.
Something was wrong with me. Did you? Well, you guys are younger than me. So.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But really, like I bought the VHS of Halloween for like $80 back in 1988.
Yeah, they're expensive back then.
They were expensive back then.
Yeah, I worked at a video store.
That's awesome.
When I was in college, and I bought Halloween 4 for $85 on VHS, and that was with the discount, my employee discount.
You were in college when it was on video?
Yeah, I was
in college when it came out in theaters. Took my ex-wife to on a date there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
But you haven't just worked on you have worked on the Halloween films, which I'm most excited about, but how'd you get involved with the Friday the 13th films, Scream, Psycho, all the
after
others?
Halloween came out, because that was the first documentary, it was one of Anchor Bay's biggest sellers. And it was from what I understand, I brought a copy. I'm like all about QVC tonight. I'm QVC. I just I think I have it in here. So this was
he's your hand model.
Ooh.
Oh, there it is.
So this was the very first.
There we go.
There's only 5 left. No,
I have that one.
Yeah, Jim has.
I have that one.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's funny because everyone says that.
No
Like people say, "Oh, I bought that. I have that." That was the very first standalone. Like it's like a bonus feature that took center stage. The movie is not on there. Mm-hmm. It's Halloween is not on there. It's just my documentary with like 4 hours of bonus features. And Anchor Bay had faith in it, and the Accods wanted to work on it with me, and I was thrilled. I'm like, yeah, okay. And it became like a huge seller. So they wired me money. Literally, like Anchor Bay wired me $500,000 to make this.
Oh.
And they were like, just go.
There we go.
Good at that, Jake.
His name
And I've never
is
been wired
Jason.
$500,000, just letting you know, till that point.
God, you could have taken off, man.
And the guy over there was Mark Ward. Do you guys know Mark Ward? Oh, he's no longer there. But he's an incredible guy. And he just said, make it and come back when you're done. They didn't check in. They didn't do anything.
Whoa.
It's the best kind of boss.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So we made it in 13 weeks. And
13 weeks, Friday the 13th.
and we didn't plan it that way. They wanted to release it when the movie came out, the remake. So when was that?
09, 010,
Yeah.
2011, I think, or none.
Oh, nine.
I think
Had
it
to
was.
have been
I think it was
09.
2009.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm remembering.
Brad would know.
Yeah.
So they wanted
Brad
to
knows
time
it.
the release of this with the remake, and so I had to deliver it on a certain date, and it was a nightmare. But that's how I got involved in that one.
Very cool.
Wow.
And that took about 30, and then also the Scream one, because we're going to be talking about a Scream event that you're also sponsoring this year. But so you
Yes.
are heavily involved with the Scream series as well.
So we did a similar documentary for the Scream movies called Still Screaming, and Lionsgate put out a 5-film. They called it a 5-film Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. And it confused me because there were only 3 movies. But it was my documentary and another documentary.
Oh, yeah.
So they called it the 5-film set or whatever. So we interviewed everyone from all the movies. And same kind of thing. It was like going behind the scenes, because these things are like, they have legs, they have longevity, and no one can deny their success. And so Paramount, as much as I love Paramount, they always treated the Jason movies as kind of like the black sheep of their films.
Why?
They just, because they were, not that they were embarrassed by them, but they weren't like films.
Yeah.
They were like these low budget horror movies where Jason's running around killing teenagers, and they made the first 7 of them in 8 years. So they were cranking them out, but kind of weren't, I guess, that proud of them. But you can't deny their success. So what we do is we go behind, we talk to everyone that we can. And when you said that you saw the first Paranormal Activity, I was like, hey, want to be interviewed? Like, that's how we are. We're like, come on in and talk about it. So, and when you start hearing about it, and people who were actually there on set, you feel like you were there. You sort of get this feeling of like the sensibility of what it was like on set, and then you find out a lot of things that happened that, like, a lot of people were disgruntled on Friday the 13th.
Why?
Just for various reasons.
Yeah, how much can you actually say about
I know.
this?
Well, I mean, it's like, I made this 10 years ago, so, but yeah, I'm not going to mudsling, but like, you find out people weren't happy, or, so
They saw the condition of the camp and they were like, oh.
this will not do.
I'm not.
What a
I'm
dumb-
staying here also.
Kevin
Fine.
Bacon always complaining.
But yeah, so just one project leads to another, and the more you do, like the Psycho one, I didn't have my hands really in that. Another director brought the project to me because he didn't know how to sell it, so I set it up over at the Shout Factory. You guys know the Shout Factory? 50 Best Horror Movies was just a countdown of 50 lesser known horror films, and it's like 2.5 hours, and you can just sit there and see there's something in it for everybody.
Where can we see that one? Is that Shout Factory?
I think it's just like, I think it's Amazon Prime. It's on iTunes.
Done.
It's all over. I see it all over.
All right. Anybody have any questions before we jump into the next part of the show?
I could ask millions of questions because
I know that this.
Who was your favorite interview you did with all of this?
Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, I have a lot of favorites, but there was one woman named Bonnie Hellman. You probably don't know who she is. She's a character actor. She's in so much stuff. She is the girl, the hitchhiker, that has the banana in the Friday 13th movie. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I know.
She's sitting there on the side of the road, and she's like peeling a banana, and Jason comes up behind her and just like sticks something through her neck, and she squeezes the banana, and it kind of... She was so much fun, and she just in the movie for like 30 seconds. But she just wanted to be there, and she had everybody laughing, and I just always remember that interview. She was amazing. She was fun. Yeah.
Did you ever... You did speak with the original cast from the original Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis.
We didn't talk to Jamie Lee. I didn't talk to Jamie Lee. It's funny because back when we made this one, this was 2006, so this is a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie Lee was still kind of like, oh, I don't do the Halloween movies anymore.
I did True Lies.
Right. Yeah. So it was hard to get her. Let's put it that way. But we have her. We have her in the documentary because Anchor Bay did another documentary where she was in it. So we just pulled some clips from there. Plus, everybody's heard from her throughout the years. So I was really excited to talk to everyone else.
Donald
in
Pleasance?
all the movies. No, Donald Pleasance had passed
away by then.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What time did you start doing it?
This was 2006. So he passed away
okay.
after, I think, Halloween 6. He passed away.
Oh.
That wasn't the one with Paul Rudd. That was 5.
Paul Rudd was 6.
Paul Rudd was 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get to interview him?
No.
PJ Souls?
Oh, PJ. PJ is a friend of mine.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's a buddy.
She's really nice.
That's fantastic. She always has the longest line to her table at the conventions.
Right? That's
Everybody-
amazing. Everybody loves PJ.
Totally. All right. Well, I am super excited to find out more information about this, and we will. But right now, we are going to tell everybody about some upcoming events that they can be involved with.
Since we're getting into fall in a few weeks, and the Halloween season is already kicking off, coming up, there are several horror conventions. September 13th through 15th is Son of Monsterpalooza in Burbank, California.
Yes, and Luke, you just real quick, we can't do this in all of them. There's a couple of really cool events happening at that event this weekend.
Yeah, they're going to do a Terminator 2 panel where they're going to have several cast members. That one's on Sunday. That's the one I'm looking forward to most. And then they have the Creature of the Black Lagoon, something on Friday where they're having the daughter of the main actress do something.
3D screening?
They're showing a 3D screening on Saturday, and then they're doing the Phantasm
40th
type
anniversary.
stuff. So there's a lot of cool kind of different things happening at that event and different guests. It's pretty cool. So Monsterpalooza happens earlier in the year, and then this is Son of Monsterpalooza, but it's definitely a fun event, and I'm definitely looking forward to the Terminator 2.
Me too.
Yeah,
cool. Also, the same weekend, September 14th through 15th, is ScareFest Horror and Paranormal Convention in Lexington, Kentucky. So if you're on East or West Coast, you've got something to go to this weekend. Then October 5th through 6th is Monster Mania in Hunt Valley, Maryland. And October 31st through November 3rd is Spooky Empire in Orlando, Florida.
Hunt Valley sounds like a horror movie.
It does, doesn't it? Hunt Valley.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a great title for a horror movie.
Well, and in addition to those, there are also some horror film festivals coming up this coming weekend, September 12th through 15th at the Atlanta Horror Film Festival is happening. And then September 26th through 29th is Shriekfest LA. That's at Raleigh Studios with a kickoff party at Club Sinister in Hollywood.
And we do have to say that our very own Carrie Lane, who will be joining us tonight, I think. Anyway, she is going to be.
So long.
She is going to be at Shriekfest covering that for Scare Guy that weekend. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Yes, and then just a little while after that, October 8th through 17th, is Screamfest in Hollywood at the Chinese Theater, and those passes are on sale now. Shriekfest and then Screamfest. Two different things. And then October...
Hollywood's just screaming.
It's true, all the time. October 20th through 22nd is Halloween Horror Picture Show in Tampa, Florida. That's all we have on the list, but I'm sure there are a lot more happening.
Right, there's a lot more happening. There's one more thing on the list. There's this art show, this interactive art show that concluded here in Hollywood. It's called I Love Scary Movies. Katie went to it, but it's coming back, and it for the fall exhibit, they're going to have it's going to be move over to the HD Buttercup building, East 7th, 2118 East 7th Place in Los Angeles. It's going to add some new things. The Shining, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. It's going to be very interactive. It's running September 20th through November 17th. So I plan to get down there to that, and hopefully we'll all get down there. It'll be something very, very cool. All right.
Cool. Nice.
So, for the marquee event of the evening, we are going to be talking about It Chapter 2, or as the poster says, It Ends. Cheeseman, what did you think of the movie, just real quick?
Well, aren't we supposed to join?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. We are actually,
Ring.
in just a second, we are going to be joined, we hope, through the magic of technology by Carrie Lane, who...
We're ringing her right now.
That's great.
But
the 21st century is just amazing.
21st century is amazing. Anyways, It Chapter 2, while we are waiting to see if Carrie gets on.
how did it do this weekend,
You're
Jim?
not sideways.
Yeah. Okay.
Carrie Lane is Skyping in right now. The thing is, I think she's not quite sideways. There we go.
Oh.
That is fantastic.
And I'll cut to her right now.
All right.
What's going on, Carrie?
Not much. I was like, oh wait, this might work today, and I saw the movie.
Carrie!
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie!
Hello, we're all here.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Can she hear us?
Yes.
Can you hear me okay? Is the volume okay?
Yeah, the volume's perfect.
What's that shirt
Okay,
you're
cool.
wearing?
Carrie?
Carrie, what's up?
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's definitely that delay. Okay.
Oh, sorry. But anyways, I'm just gonna fill us in real quick on It Chapter 2. It made $92 million domestically this weekend.
I'm not hearing them through it. What's up, everybody?
I'm going to fix up some of the technical stuff right now, guys, but you can talk about it.
Yeah. So it made $92 million
expressive.
domestic this week. It really did.
Dollars.
She can't see us either, Jake. Anyways, and it made 185 global.
That's a lot.
It's the second biggest horror movie opening of all time, behind only one other film. What is it?
It?
The very first part, which made $123 million domestic and 189 global.
The Exorcist's head is spinning in its grave right now.
And I guess what people are saying is that they think it was hurt mainly by its length, because it came in right under 3 hours. Boy, it kind of felt like it a little bit there towards when you see it at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, it's going to start feeling like it. Anyways,
that's true.
It presently has about around a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, but an 80% audience score. All right, guys, tell me, for those of us who... Oh, by the way, we're going to have mild spoilers. We're not going to completely ruin the movie, but we will have some mild spoilers. I would first like to... see what Carrie Lane thought of It Chapter 2. What'd you think, Carrie?
Well, first, I'd say I definitely enjoyed it. I understand why some people felt it was quote-unquote long, but the actual book is super long. I haven't read the book, though, but I know it's a long book. I thought it was very entertaining. I hope everybody noticed the Stephen King cameo and how there was the constant joke of, hey, your endings suck of your book.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, I thought the effects were cool. I like how the ending, and not spoiling it, was a way to incorporate what was in the Tim Curry It miniseries and related to the book, but a different kind of visual. The blending of the past and the present with the young actors to the older actors was brilliant. And just kind of those editing transitions really sold, that's who they are, this is who they've grown up to be, and gives you, the viewer, of like, oh yeah, that little bit of information you didn't know before, here are those little nuggets.
Especially Eddie. That was an amazing child to adult transition.
Yes,
my goodness.
Definitely. Jack Dylan Grazer plays Eddie as a kid. Remind me who plays him as an adult.
I don't know his name.
Okay.
But I've got IMDb handy. I will
Shazam
find it.
Thanks,
kid.
Dude.
It's the kid from Shazam. Yeah,
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Australian TV stuff. I was looking him up too. Like, he looks familiar.
Oh, he was so familiar, and he was so good. He was my favorite. It was my absolute favorite character from the film. It was so great.
James Ransone?
Yeah.
James Ransom.
Yeah. So, hey, Ryan, why don't you tell us what you thought about it?
Yeah, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to see me, but you can hear me. So for It Chapter 2, I was really excited about this, you guys. I'm a big fan of Stephen King. He's my favorite author. I've read a lot of his books, including It, which is like 1,100 pages. And I was a little worried about this one in that I heard it got bad press. I was hearing like some mixed reviews. And also I just thought that the adult storyline was a little less fascinating in general than the kids one. I will say though, I was pleasantly surprised. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it's a little too long. This felt like the extended cut, but so maybe they could have shaved 10, 15 minutes off. Like, I don't know if we need to see of every flashback back to back of them encountering Pennywise. Like that's where the movie was like, oh, okay, after 2 we're gonna see all 5, aren't we? And that was a little rough. I think they could have maybe made that a bit of a montage and saved some time. Yeah, they could have
cross-cut kind of between the different people all having it versus back to back.
So I definitely think there was a pacing thing with that. However, I really thought as a 2-movie set, they got the story, they really crushed it, and they did the characters justice. I love that cameo so much, and I really thought they nailed the ending and got a little bit Return to the King with the multiple endings. Like, you just did not know where to end.
So many endings.
So many endings.
Frodo was even in it. That's crazy.
Frodo was even in it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I would recommend go see it. I really liked it.
Yeah. I do have a question for you there, Ryan. So how was it seeing them back to back? Because you did a screening of the first one and then the second. So what was that like, experiencing it that way?
Yeah, we did. We watched the first one right before the second one, and the first one is so good, you guys. I think the first one's such a digestible movie for people who I think don't typically go see horror, and I think it's still scary enough. So, because I think there's a lot of horror movies. There was the Guillermo del Toro one, Scary Stories We Tell in the Dark, which I really think didn't know what the audience was. This was much more of a blockbuster horror film that I thought was great. I really, really love the kid actors. The performances in both these films are so good.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I will
with you
admit
there.
that scary movies is essentially Goosebumps, but just a slightly older demographic.
Yes.
Completely
Yes.
agree.
Derek, what'd you think?
Yeah, I'm not being a huge horror fan, but someone who can just appreciate good storytelling. I didn't have like super strong opinions, just, that was well done. It was definitely entertained. I was engaged. My problem was I drank an energy drink on the way there so I could stay awake for the late night show. And midway through the film, it caught up with me, and I could not wait any longer. And so I went to the bathroom and missed one scene that I probably would have enjoyed watching.
He missed the Hall of Mirrors scene.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Maybe the best scene in the film.
Oh, that's such a good
Don't
scene.
say that, man.
Intense.
Definitely one
I'm
of the
sure I'll get another chance to
one
watch
of the
that.
most brutal scenes in the movie. I will
So
tell
maybe
you
that's
that.
okay.
But I
It
thought
was actually just a scene from Glass.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
Real quick, for people who have not seen the movie yet, the bathroom break. What is the
How long?
what is the
best
what is
spot.
the end game equivalent Ronin scene where I can go to the bathroom?
That's hard to say because it took me a while because I just kept wanting to see what was coming next. I was enjoying them.
They were at the Dairy Fair.
Okay.
So I think it was about 2 hours into the movie. You still had about 45 minutes left, right, Carrie?
No, that's why you gotta do your bathroom break before. I have never got to
Okay.
go to the bathroom in a movie ever.
Well, here's the thing.
Just
Yeah.
bring a
I
bottle.
did,
Just bring a
but it was
bottle
too
in the
soon.
theater or an empty cup.
But Carrie, when people
Big
do go to
popcorn
see
thing.
it, when should they go to the restroom?
They shouldn't.
Before.
Before.
Hold it.
Yeah, or
Fine.
if you're gonna go before, you've got to time your energy drink that much sooner too, because that was my problem. I went before the movie, but an hour after drinking that big can of caffeine, it caught up.
I almost
Yeah.
went during the old lady scene because I had already felt like I saw a big
That's a
chunk
great
of-
Same.
call. That's a
Yes.
great call. Do that because you've seen that in the trailer.
No, I know that.
But
there's a
if
little
you go
more.
right at the beginning, then you don't.
I
Because it's a
think-
long scene, and then you can catch the end
Oh,
part.
yeah, the
Yeah.
very beginning. Agreed. Fair.
I think the elderly lady scene is one of the best in the movie
Yeah.
because
Love
the
it.
previews sort of gave you an idea, but it got so much scarier that I think that scene exploded into terror. That
good
was
point.
that was a great scene.
I'll tell you what,
Similar
I
to
think.
they did in the first one, how you thought you had seen a scene at like the projector room, and how
Yes.
it did a similar when it came out. Oh yeah, I like that they gave you something else more than what you saw, but maybe go at the beginning of the scene because it is a long scene.
I audibly gasped during the Paul Bunyan scene.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was scary. That was scary. And but you know what? Not only was it scary, it was a meaningful scene. It meant something, and you saw the struggle of Bill Hader's character. He was struggling with something that he was afraid of, and I don't want to give away all that stuff because I think you guys need to see it and enjoy it. But I love the way that and some the movie was about. The first movie was about facing your childhood fears and things, and this one was about nostalgia and how what the fears and the things
and
that
facing the lingering the lingering effects as an adult of the things that bothered you as a child and going back and dealing with childhood trauma.
childhood trauma.
which-
Right.
Which is the kind of thing Stephen King has always been great at, is he combines the horror elements with some psychological thing going on for the characters, and then he's always got some psychopath sadist in the mix too, who is scarier than any monster. That you just love to hate. Yeah.
If I had a complaint, I overall I liked the film. I really did like the film, but I do feel it got a little slop. It felt sloppy at points, like they kept on trying to put a bunch of scenes together, and it didn't feel smooth, especially the second half. I do feel, and again, I'm not going to ruin it, there was a big showdown with Pennywise towards the end, which just went on for so long. But I guess the book maybe did it. But like Carrie was saying, it
They
did.
should have just made it a trilogy.
It did differentiate
They
it
could have been
from the original '90s version. And by the way, who here has seen the '90s version?
Not all of it.
You have?
Yeah.
How did this stack up? Carrie, you saw that. Okay, I want you guys. How did this stack up to the '90s version?
I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember the ending, and I don't know if it's the fault of the time period and the special effects, but I remember being very let down when you get to see
Yep.
and you're like, that's it? Really?
Giant 8-legged stop motion beast. Yeah.
It's like pre-J.J.
But you know,
Abrams,
giving
like,
that some love because I do love my practical effects and all. But I think the new one really captured the essence of what it really is, and is Pennywise still messing with what visual thing they think they're seeing.
Right.
I just really missed that bicycle scene where the two guys ride on the bike
Right
together.
off on the end of the bicycle.
But I mean, I really do think they did a good. Like, I enjoyed these two newer movies more than the old one. But I feel like if you saw what you did, especially as like more of a TV movie, that was pretty groundbreaking, I think, for the time.
Yeah.
Of what they did, the amount of horror they put into something that way. So I do appreciate that aspect of it. But I felt like this one, with just storytelling and cinematography and the way they could pull off effects now, they did a lot better job, and it didn't feel as corny in parts as the old one did, but it was a lot of fun. But yeah, the length was kind of the biggest kind of issue, where they made almost the second part as long as the TV movie almost. But something I was saying to kind of Derek before this was that I felt like this one might have been a little scarier, or more kind of, they did more disturbing type images or things happen even more so than the first one, you know, because as an adult they probably had to up it a little bit because they were going after
That's
adults.
more disturbing than Georgie? Are you kidding me?
Well, there was
the scene in the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
you've got
they kind of like upped like everything.
Can I just say something though?
They're not afraid to kill kids.
I know. They're not afraid to kill kids. That sounds terrible, but we got to give them that. And Carrie, you've been trying to break in and say something here. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was agreeing that I was joking. Who wants Chinese food? Maybe that scene went on a hair long,
yes.
But it felt like it worked within the world of the film, because all of the characters are just like, oh my gosh, this is still going. And this disjointedness works because all those characters are like not fully flowing through their own time. So, sure. And then I was going to say that the like secret, that was my only like, really, that's it. Yeah. But where you are, that could make a bigger difference than where we are.
Yeah.
Just at. And the gore and scariness versus this one and the other one, I just think they really bookend together really well. So do highly recommend people check it out, because if you saw the first, you have to see the second.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's got I have one complaint. It's the complaint about the original series in the 90s and this one and the book. That Chinese scene just is way too corny for me. Something about it. You're sitting around being attacked by fortune cookies. That one. No, but I get it.
The door is gone.
It looked really cool on paper.
Like, why don't they leave?
But visually,
Are you being figurative or literal? They're attacked by fortune cookies?
No, they were. The fortune cookies cracked open.
No, there's stuff in them.
Yeah, there's things inside that come out and attack you, like a dragon or something in one, and one's a bird. It's the same thing from the original movie. And here's the thing.
But with better effects.
I think it probably worked better. That one probably worked better in the book. Like, you're seeing your
but there wasn't the
fears
cheesy montage with the music that they had in that one, where it felt like something from, like,
I do have to throw this
80s TV sitcom or something.
And this is Brad. Brad goes, "Oh, you complainers! This movie was flawless. Classic horror filmmaking at its best. The entire homage to Elm Street movies made it so amazing."
Because he was talking a lot how which I need to see this one. That was it, the fifth one. There was a lot
Elm Street 5,
similarities, and they even showed it on the theater.
It was on the marquee of the theater. The kid that they were walking through.
Sorry,
as
big spoiler on that one.
Okay.
But they do have theater, fronts with movie names, and all that.
I think that I think it would be close to flawless if you let an editor get in there, cut about 20 minutes of this thing, stream that thing down, and Carrie, especially, what did you think of it was not in the book, it wasn't the original, the storyline, and we don't need to talk specifically about it, that began the movie, the really brutal scene, and how it kind of, sort of didn't go a lot of places. It just seemed almost exploitive to me.
Yeah, I saw some people's comments on Twitter prior to the movie complaining about that, and they're like, well, it was in the book, and the book was written at a different time period, but within the world of where they are, and that still happens today anyways, but it is kind of a little bit like a token easy violence that was like...
Yeah.
I think it could have been something else.
Do you think it was because of another storyline that developed, a very big storyline that kind of developed?
Probably, yeah.
And we're talking very vaguely here, and so nobody's listening. And I hate it. But no, there is a storyline that developed that was not necessarily explicit in the book. It was kind of vague in the book. And in the miniseries, it was, I guess it kind of vaguely hinted at, but it kind of became front and center. And it was actually a very affecting storyline, I thought. And
well, let me ask this.
It developed well.
Yeah, I know some people were not happy it was there because they, like you said, they saw it as exploitative. I wonder, though, if just as many people would have been angry if they were fans of the book and saw that had been left out.
True.
Well, there's another big scene that I haven't read the book, but my friend's like, are they going to put that in the movie?
I know what. Are you talking about when they were little kids and get out of the cave?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Your V card to go.
Yeah, it's the whitey-tighty scene on speed.
Okay.
I do have one thing we should talk about, or one or two of us. What did we think of Bill Hader's performance, and is it Oscar-worthy? Because people have talked about his performance stealing the show and it being kind of a huge performance.
I wouldn't go that far. I thought all the performances were great. As far as saying, like, Oscar-worthy, I don't know if there's any, like, standout aspect of his performance specifically.
I loved it. Oh, he
did a great job. I would say that Oscar, I didn't stick out to that kind of point, but he really did bring a lot of comic relief and fun to like different things. He could hit the sad moments, but also hit the funny moments, and it was just a good mix with his character.
He's always really good. Yeah, background in comedy.
And I think Barry really helps with this performance too to kind of stand him out as that kind of an actor.
And Carrie, what you saying, Carrie?
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I think he did an amazing job, but you also need the regular characters.
Yeah.
It would add a pun to what a storyline is, another way to say that, is to make his character stand out more. So it's definitely the ensemble of them together that made things even better. But yeah, I think he did a great job. I don't know if I'd necessarily be like the best, but it definitely stood out. And how well the kids to the adults, how the kids did and how the adults did reflecting each other, that was what probably made it even better.
Yep. So guys, as we wrap up this part of the show, yes or no, is this something worth sitting through 3 hours?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thumbs up from Carrie, from Luke, from me, Derek.
Yes, I mean, it's not for everyone. Some people would not enjoy this, definitely, if you're not into that sort of thing, but it's a well-made movie.
Ryan?
I gotta say, this is probably one of the most triggering movies out there I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you're not good with... There's a lot of things that I think could trigger someone if you go and see this movie, so I would definitely... Like
trigger
if you're,
how?
Yeah, I'm talking like if you're, uneased by, like, suicide or abuse or stuff like that, this could really trigger you. I thought it was great, though. What were you going to say? Sorry, Carrie.
No, Ryan, the shooting of children, too.
Right. Yes, there's just a lot of stuff.
People audibly gasped when that happened.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That was pretty bizarre.
Yeah, there's some stuff. Brutal. But, I mean, Bill Skarsgård, incredible. I think Pennywise is probably a top 10 movie monster of all time.
And the killing of cute little kids blowing up into blood explosions. Oh my gosh. That was so brutal. All right, guys.
Okay. We've been on this for a while.
One, please. One ticket, please.
If you have not yet seen it, Chapter 2, go out and check it out. Everybody, the whole entire world saw it this past weekend, so theaters should be ready and waiting for you this next week. Anyways, it's going to make a whole lot of money. It does tell the complete story. Stephen King, as Carrie said, did a great cameo in the movie, and he has come out saying he enjoyed this film. He doesn't always say that about films based on his work.
He didn't even say that about The Shining.
Carrie! Hey, Carrie. How you doing up there in Santa Barbara?
Oh, good. I should be going because now I'm still at work. So.
Carrie, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Busted.
Good to see you.
Hi, ho, Silver. Away.
All right, bye-bye. We'll see you later, Carrie.
All right, see ya.
Bye-bye. All right, we are going to now switch gears a little bit and talk about something a little bit closer to home for all of us, hopefully, and that is the Lost River Drive-In double feature, Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. Hey, Anthony, tell us a little bit about this, please.
Okay, so in Halloween 2, you guys know Halloween 2.
Yes.
I know of it. I've actually never seen any of the Halloween movies, and we're at some point.
That just hurts me to hear.
Yeah, I know.
Is this true?
It doesn't matter how many times I say it to Jim; he's shocked every time.
Come over.
Right. Let me tell you.
Come on.
So
I know it's the one where it's revealed that she's his sister.
What?
No,
That's
right?
a spoiler.
If you don't,
Usually people right exactly.
if you don't include the TV scenes that they cut back into the original one.
right.
Or
And then they
on
erased
TV.
all that in the last
In the
year's
new
movie.
one, yes,
it's like
yeah.
they took all that, which I thought was a really good idea. But in Halloween 2,
We'll fight you on that one. But anyways,
we need to talk.
All right.
Because right. So in Halloween 2, there's like a nurse, like a break room, and some of the paramedics are sitting there.
the one that we're seeing right now.
Oh, right, exactly.
That's on the
Right.
screen?
Her. So
Okay.
Janet, so that's her. So that's Janet. She's holding her Coke thing.
Yep.
And she's saying, my friend Julie saw him walking behind the Lost River Drive-In. And Julie said he was so creepy. And so that one line, right, so this is the trailer we cut. So that one line inspired the entire event because it was like, well, I like a theme, you know what I mean? Like I like let's create like a double feature, but let's let's have Lost River Drive-In popcorn boxes.
Yeah.
Let's have Lost River Drive-In T-shirts.
Yeah.
Let's find a drive-in to sort of rebrand themselves as the Lost River Drive-In. So the Mission Tiki Drive-In in Montclair is agreed to rebrand themselves.
Montclair, California.
Right. It's about 40 minutes outside LA. It's a Sunday night. It's September 29th, and you get to see both movies. You get free popcorn for your car, and you get this, and they just came in the mail, and I'm so excited.
What is it? What is it?
Right, and we're only giving them out. At
Oh,
the
that's
event.
amazing.
It's a real full-size newspaper.
Pull that up, Anthony.
wow.
Yeah.
No, this is. God, that's awesome. This really is like QVC. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry.
Let Jake do the QVC
But it's
thing
it's
again.
like a full size newspaper, and it's the Haddonfield Times. And my friend Matt's gonna kill me because he wrote these articles. But this is the first time we're showing it. But these are articles that expand on the storyline. There's horoscopes on the back, which are hilarious. And it's like one per car, and you get to read these articles. And we're gonna be doing other kind of special things, let's put it that way, that we don't want to kind of reveal yet. But it's an experience. You kind of drive in and you're at the Lost River Drive-In, and the staff is going to be wearing Lost River Drive-In t-shirts, and they're going to be like, welcome to Lost River Drive-In. You get like a Lost River Drive-In air freshener, pumpkin spice scented, that they can put in your car while you're watching the movie. And it's all kinds of just fun stuff. And we have a couple of surprises. But this is what I'm really. This is really a cool item, and we're only giving them away at the event. You can't get them anywhere else.
We're going to have to fight Big
collectible.
Jamie on that one. We're riding with a big fan.
One thing I'll point out, though, is that this is dated November 5th, 1978, but the weather is 78 degrees and sunny in Illinois, which...
We debated on that. We were like, maybe it's a little too warm. But when you go through it, like there's like lots of, like, for instance... Who is this Julie that's Janet's friend? Who is this Julie that saw Michael walking behind the Lost River Drive-In? So we talk about Julie in here. Remember the kid with the razor blade?
Yeah.
And he's eating a candy apple and he gets a razor blade. There's an article about that kid in here and like what he went through. And it sort of fills in the gaps. It ties the stories together. It updates you on Loomis and Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're in a hospital together. And it's just really, while you're like sitting between the movie and before the movie and sitting between the movies, you can read this really fun newspaper.
So it's at the Tiki Drive-In?
It's called the Mission Tiki Drive-In.
It's
if you go to lostriverdrivein.com, all the information is there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, and this isn't like your only event that you're doing this Halloween season. You have another big one coming up.
So the other one is called Scream-O-Ween.
Scream-O-Ween.
So you've seen Scream.
Yes.
Okay, or good. We're 50% is fine. So, okay. So, you know where they filmed, that big mansion where they filmed the ending of Scream, where they're like, Nev and like Skeet and Matthew were like stabbing each other in the kitchen and everything.
Yes.
Courtney.
Right, exactly. They're all in this big house. So it's a mansion in Tamales, which is outside Santa Rosa, California. It's 6,500 square foot mansion. Wow. It's on a compound, like it's a gate. You go in and there's 3 houses, that's one of them, and then there's 2 barns that are on there as well. So on the top of this hill is this house, and that's where they filmed the ending of Scream. So we're doing a party called Scream-A-Ween, which is just a Halloween party at the house that night. And last year, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Like where else? I mean, it's
On
you can spend
Halloween
Halloween
night.
in your living room, you know, watching Trick or Treat or Basket Case or something, or you could be at the Scream House. Have you seen Basket Case? Of all things to say, I love that movie.
Oh, it's a tradition.
The Green Day song?
Every night, sit down. Every Halloween, basket case.
There's like
Shopping mall.
You're in like my favorite territory right now. So
That's the robots that kill you, right?
Yeah,
the hyperactive security system that kills the teens.
Short circuit, deadly robots.
That's
But
right.
anyways, so
And is that place haunted for real? I heard the house
Scream
may
House.
actually be
the
haunted.
Scream House had a weird history. The homeowners, this is the truth. Because when we did another event called Scream Comes Home last year. If you go to screamcomeshome.com, you can see that.
I saw
And
the pictures, yeah.
Okay, so that's why we're doing another Scream event. So many people that couldn't attend that were like, I just want to come back, and I want to come do something. So we're doing a Halloween party. But the homeowner that lived in the house heard about Scream Comes Home, and they emailed me.
and there's the Scream Comes Home up
Oh,
on
yeah,
the screen
that's
right now. Yeah.
Those are a lot of us there in front of the house, sitting there, taking this group photo. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Roger Jackson was there, he does the voice of Ghostface in all the
Yeah.
movies. So he showed up. We did a screening on the lawn, and what was really cool was we had all these bales of hay that people were sitting on, and fog surrounded us. Like that night, we were surrounded by fog watching Scream.
You didn't
next to
plan
the
that
Scream
part,
house.
or
No,
did you?
No. It was amazing. But yeah, so I don't know if I forgot what your question. Oh,
The
yeah.
haunted,
So
yeah.
the homeowner, the kid who grew up in the house, his parents both died within a couple months of each other, right when they bought the house.
Oh my.
Right after they finished filming, and then they died. And they found out it was some kind of like pesticide spray or something in the
geez.
area or whatever. But there's this weird lore to the house. I don't know if it's haunted. I mean, I personally don't.
Makes it for a better Halloween party.
Right. It's haunted. Come on
The
down to the
garage
Halloween
doesn't
house.
open and close on its own and crush people.
All the
and
time.
All the time. Yeah.
So when I went to the house, I wanted to talk the homeowner into putting a little doggy door.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll pay to put in a garage door with the doggy door, and I'll pay to swap it out, but they didn't go for it.
Or at least some legs, half a dummy sticking out of the garage door. Elevated.
Rose McGowan would come up and just hang.
But
out.
we did photo ops, where she Rose has the beer and she turns and sees him kind of standing,
Yeah.
So we did photo ops. So all those people you saw we handed them beer bottles, and they were standing there, and we had a guy dressed like Ghostface.
And you had to make it really cold in the room for everybody wearing tight shirts.
So how do you get tickets?
We didn't go that far. Damn it.
How do you get tickets to this one?
Screamaween.net.
Screamaween. We are going to put all these on our website tonight. But tell us about the double feature that's happening. What kind of the snack bar will be open.
Yep.
Right, and you were mentioning on the website it says something you're gonna have cool like containers for the popcorn.
Yes, I have those too.
Okay.
Who knew?
There you go.
So so I'll open this.
This is pretty cool. I mean, you guys.
How do I open it? Yeah, so basically you go. So this is amazing.
Oh my god, we actually get to do popcorn talk!
Oh, look at this!
We're going to actually talk about
I'm the
Oh my
right
gosh.
guest for you guys. Yeah, and it's
This
just like
is
a popcorn
just
container. It
cool.
says Lost River Drive-In, and so if you basically go up and you get a popcorn, and if you just want this, you don't have to put the popcorn in it. You can take it, but that's the whole point of the event is to kind of and then when she says the line, like Janet's going to say Lost River Drive-In, I'm hoping everyone honks their horns and has fun.
And everybody gets one or one per car?
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Free popcorn.
You're like Oprah of popcorn.
Right.
Oh, I
I'll
see.
leave
I
these
see how
for
this
you
works.
guys.
And you get one, and you get one.
Building it is half the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little tricky.
So why did you pick this
Tape.
particular
Lots of
year
tape.
to
There
do
we go.
Halloween 1 and 2? What made this year?
Well,
be the
okay,
year?
so my friend Matt Russell, who wrote this newspaper, it was kind of his idea because somebody had said something about Janet talking about Lost River, and in a text exchange with him and his friend Armin, they dreamed up this little thing and said, "Hey," they just said it to me, like, "Wouldn't it be fun?" And I was like, "I'm gonna do that." And then a week later, I was like, "It's all set up."
You were so cool.
That's a producer right
Say
there.
Halloween during
That's a
Halloween.
producer.
That's exactly all I do. That's all I do. I make shit happen. That's all I
Stop,
do.
I'll buy it.
you know, so like we all love the original Halloween, except for Derek, he hasn't seen it yet. But the rest of us love it, and you're going to see it this year. But Halloween 2 doesn't get enough love. It is a fantastic movie. It's one of the best sequels I think I've ever seen from a horror movie. Yeah. And do you feel the same way?
I love Halloween 2.
And you were telling us a little bit, like you actually went looking for a scene.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so way back in like 2001, something like that. I had never been to the Halloween locations, and I was waiting for a friend of mine to visit town. So we're at that alleyway, you know, where Michael, when the movie opens, Michael's walking through an alleyway, and there's a woman named Mrs. Elrod, and she's making a ham sandwich, and he sneaks into the kitchen and steals her knife when her back is turned. And so
a knife he never uses.
Right, exactly. Right. No, actually, he does use it.
On the dog?
He goes next door and kills the woman on the phone. Right. Yeah. I love that scene. And I still can't figure out where they filmed that. But, yeah, so what was I saying?
Oh, no, you guys were down there.
Yeah. So we were filming. We just had, like, geeks. We had cameras and everything. And this dog is barking like the movie. And it felt like we were, like, in the movie. And then this homeowner comes out, and he's like, what are you guys doing out here? And we're like, you might not know this, but this is, you know, a scene from a horror movie. We just assumed he didn't know. And we said, that's the house that's used in the movie. And he said, no, it's not. And we're thinking, what an idiot. Like, we know our stuff. And then he goes, because it's my house.
That's awesome.
And I was like, what? And then he said, come on inside. And he brought us into the kitchen, in Mrs. Elrod's kitchen.
And then he picked up a hammer.
Right. And then we promptly stole the kitchen knife. But yeah, we pulled out the cutting board, like that Mrs. Elrod.
Did you really?
He said it's the same cutting board, and he had stories from Halloween 2.
Wait, he was there when they filmed?
Yeah, they lived in the house.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was just telling us stories, and then we left, and we were like, that was Mrs. Elrod's house. Like, it's, if you're a Halloween geek like me, it was like, you started going to the White House. You know? It was like the coolest thing ever.
Or it's like going out to where Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru was like, no, this is my desert.
Right.
Come on in.
Did you walk the exact same steps and look through the kitchen and go through the
Well,
bedroom?
we didn't go into, no, he just let us into the kitchen.
Yeah,
no, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I did look in to see if Mr. Elrod was sleeping on the chair like in the movie. Anyway.
I do have a quick question about the drive. So there's a tiki theme to it, right? Or
the Tiki Drive-In.
Yeah.
The missing Tiki Drive-In.
So is there tiki drinks there, or is that just
I have no idea.
Or just bring your own?
Luke and Jim.
He cannot say that. He cannot say that. Hey, we do have to start wrapping up.
I do. So, important question.
Yes.
If someone, say, had not seen these movies before, would this be a good or a bad setting in which to see them for the first time? Because sometimes...
It's perfect.
It's the best setting. Okay. It's the best setting because you'll see them. Halloween was made to be a drive-in movie. It wasn't made to be seen on, 4K Blu-ray. It was meant to be seen. It was ask Carpenter. He will tell you it was made to be a drive-in movie, like a crowd movie, and he only likes it seen on the big screen. So
why do you think people died in cars in the movie? Because of this reason.
Yeah.
Anthony, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, it was fun.
By the way, I'm coming to this event. If there's anyone that wants to go, we will be talking to you afterwards. We're going to get tickets to go to this event. If you, just to remind everybody, it is on what day?
Sunday, September 29th at 7:30.
The website is?
LostRiverDriveIn.com.
And the website for the Screamoween is?
Screamoween.net.
And we will have both of those links on our website tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to going back and looking at all the documentaries that you've been working on.
Do it. You'll learn a lot of stuff.
Anthony, we have to have you back. For example, as we wrap up, who had their very first appearance in Halloween 2? Sort of a short cameo appearance? Dana Carvey.
Oh yeah,
really?
Dana Carvey.
What?
Oh yeah, I thought you were quizzing me. Like I thought you were gonna go A, B, C.
No.
Dana Carvey is definitely in Halloween 2.
Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, Dana Carvey was it.
Remember that.
He
plays a news reporter in front of the house. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
All right. By the way, that's all we have time for this week, guys. Every week we will be here between now and Halloween. We might take a week or two off, I guess. But anyways, please be subscribing to the show. This is the Scare Guys Show. We are so glad to have you guys this week. Who else do we have in the room this week?
Hi, my name's Derek. You can find me on Twitter at ConGuyDerek.
I'm Anthony Masi. Go to MasiMedia.net to find out about me.
I've been Jake. I'm at JT Hummus on the Soch.
And I'm Cheeseman on the couch here. On the couch, actually sitting by my mom that's just here off screen,
Yay.
if you're wondering what the shoulder is. But she was making sure I behave myself.
Thank you so much. Lance Guest, who was relatively unknown when he made this movie, went on to star with Dan O'Hurley, who plays Cochran in Halloween 3, in the movie The Last Starfighter in 1984, which was directed by Nick Castle, who played the Shape in Halloween. We are going to be there. It's going to be so much fun. Thanks, everybody.
Great.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.